All right, testing one, two, three, testing one, two, three. Looks like the audio is working. Everything is good. And I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day right now, making sure everything's set up properly. And I think we're good. All right. So, hey everyone, happy Wednesday, happy CPI day, happy horrible Bitcoin price action day, whatever you guys want to call it. It's not a goodie, but we're going to be talking about it for a while here. There's some surprise stuff that I found out here today that I'm going to be talking about. We may listen to a little bit of a town hall. That'll be something fun and something I was not expecting. However, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on here, okay? Loki says hello. You want to come over here and say hello? No. He got a toy, and he wants me to play with the toy, but okay, here. No, can I have the toy? Can I have it? No? He ran off, but the key to his heart are these. Oh, yeah, you can see him right there. You can't even see his wagging tail, but he's going berserk for it. So, he'll get a little mini. Whoa! Yeah, he'll get a little one of these. He's a little antsy today. We went to the park, and he ran around for a very long time, so he's basically been sleeping and eating for the afternoon. So, now he can actually have a treat. And hey, Striker, KTM, happy to see you guys. Lisa, 88 Chrome Dome, happy to see all of you guys making this move over here. And then, okay. Wait. Good boy, you little chompy chomp. Yep. No more. Yeah, I know, no more. He has to confirm, He doesn't trust me. Yeah. Alright. But okay. Happy to see all of you guys here for today. I'm actually going to smoke a cigar because I want to. I'm getting back on the cigar train here, and I need to get myself back to being used to smoking to them, I guess. Because I'm going to bring over some to my friend over in Philadelphia. I want to go visit him next week, or not next week, actually. I think it's this Saturday. So, like, what's today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, like 3 days I'm out of here. So, but today I got two. Not sure if I'm going to smoke both of them, but one of them is going to be the Don Pepin Garcia Series Double J, and the other one's going to be a nice Tatuaje, which is going to be very, very pleasant to smoke as well. So before we get into all of that type of stuff, welcome in here. I forget how slowly YouTube asks you guys to come watch. It's a very slow process, but let's kind of get down with the news of the day. There we go. So as far as the news, as far as pre-market's concerned, excuse me, the stock market's not doing anything. It's actually negative overall. Dow is unch, S&P is down just a little bit, and the NASDAQ is down just a little bit. So really not too much to be concerned about. Really it comes into play when you're talking about Bitcoin and what's going on there. This was something I saw over in Europe, and I get jealous of Europe sometimes because I really want something like this for the USA, and I don't think we have anything like that. So this is called Wizz Air launches $550 all-you-can-fly annual subscription pass. Imagine being able to fly wherever you want to within Europe. I know Europe's kind of small, but be able to fly over there for a annual pass of $550. I know there might be some blackout dates and something like that, but my God, you better believe that would be freaking amazing. And I'm hoping we can get something like that over here in the United States. I mean, I'd pay like $5,000 for like a first class service of that. Fly anywhere you want to. $5,000, even $10,000 with the amount of money I spend, traveling. It would still be such a saver for me. So I'm hoping we can get one of these done outside the United States here. And hey, Ratio, or Radar, I can't pronounce his name, sorry. 1 week up, 4 months down, crypto for y'all. Tell me about it right now. On some good news, as far as like the crypto realm is concerned, MetaMask starts rollout of blockchain-based debit card developed with MasterCard bands. Can't pronounce that, Ban X, maybe. But basically, they have a new card out here. I'm interested to see how this works out. The new offering will allow MetaMask users to purchase directly with their self-custodial crypto wallet. Again, I'm always a little bit more skeptical of this type of stuff because I'm afraid it could be hacked. Like the Social Security cards were hacked today. But I am curious to see how this works out. I'm going to be following this to see if everything works out perfectly good. And then maybe one day I'll make a secondary MetaMask wallet to test it out myself and have some fun. Mostly when I go out and abroad and things like that. But I think it'd be kind of just fun to test it out and see how it works out. You have money on your MetaMask. You use your debit card. It takes money out of there and you can just spend it on whatever you want to. I think that's kind of a good concept, and it kind of brings us, to where we want to go in the world of crypto. We want to be able to use some of these currencies as a currency outside the United States, into the United States. And I think this is a great step to go on that path here. Was there another piece of news I wanted to see? Oh yeah, it was this one right here. Okay, so sorry, sometimes I get caught reading these stories ahead of time, like just so I really know what I'm talking about. But basically, I don't know if you guys have been seeing this. I have not been seeing the outreach so far. I've been hearing about it to the big business class, but not to the average folk, right? But Democrats are making a pitch for crypto voters. Will crypto listen? I think they meant crypto voters listen, because crypto doesn't care about politicians too much. The people, that buy and sell it, yeah, we're the ones that care. But a Crypto for Harris town hall tonight aims to show the strength of Democratic commitment on digital assets. If you guys recall, she did not show up to the Bitcoin Nashville event, and she took a lot of flack for that. Joe Biden, when they passed a bill in the House and the Senate, bipartisan bill, Biden vetoed that bill to help crypto out. So I'm curious to see how she's going to try to come back and say, I'm pro crypto now. She'll have a way of talking about it, I'm sure, but we'll have to keep track. And what I found is, by going through this article here, what I found is this. There's actually a Crypto for Harris Twitter page. It only has about 2,000 followers right now, but it exists. It's there. It's real. Right? Let me move it right there. Yeah, it's real. A grassroots network of crypto advocates organizing, fundraising, and developing a nuanced crypto policy approach for the Harris for President campaign. So it's there. I'm actually going to follow this right now in case they have some news to share. And just when you thought we're done, what do you think about Mark Cuban partnering up with tonight's discussion? So they got Mark Cuban there. I got access to it. Oh, whoa, it's actually playing right now. So in a little bit, we'll see. So I'm going to see basically what's going on here. The one thing I don't know is Kamala Harris actually going to be attending, or is this one of those calls where it's basically, let me go over here real fast. There you go. Or is it one of those things where they just are trying to get donations and stuff and get you to do stuff without her having to actually speak to you? So I see this going on. I will let you guys know some stuff about it here eventually, but I don't really care all too much about it until I start to see some heavyweights there. Because this seems like a lot of political stuff and not so much of a discussion. I don't really care if it's not Kamala Harris or Mark Cuban or a heavyweight speaker there, right? So I'm going to move this over there and moo like a cow, and I'll be watching this closely. It started just at 5, so 5 minutes ago. And I'll keep you guys updated if I notice anybody doing anything. But now I'm going to go over here to the Bitcoin price action. That's why I put that poll up here. Did you guys hear about the Crypto Harris Town Hall? Only 10 people have, 24 of you guys have voted. If you guys haven't voted, vote now so I can actually record properly. 12% said yes, 62% said no, 25% say WTF, I can't say that just yet, and then 0% said I can't wait to watch. I made sure to get a lot of drinks here for today. I still got to get used to talking. Smoking a cigar, not that bad, but talking is what really messes me up for whatever reason. All right, so let me go back over here to the formal one I have. I got grapefruit juice here for today, so grape it up. Ooh, grapefruit juice. Okay, I love grapefruits, but I like a little bit of sugar on top of it or something. But I haven't had sugar on a grapefruit in years, so I should start that again. It was great. All right. Anyway, you guys can still see bearish on the weekly, bearish on the daily, bearish on the 1 hour, and still bullish on the 4 hour. But that really looks like it's about to break down here any minute, and we're going to start falling back down below $58,000, unfortunately. When we look at some of the price action here, just on some of these charts, and we'll go back over here to talk about this one in a minute, but when we're looking at everything, I think it's important just to kind of figure out, hey, zoom out, what's going on here? Because we see that Bitcoin still, after all these weeks, months at this point, what do we have? We have these lower highs working their way over, and that's not good. That points towards a downward direction. We see the moving averages coming back down here as well. We see the 50 curling, but still going up, but we're seeing a lot more momentum pulling us down right here. And as bad as that sounds, we still all have hope that eventually, given some time here, maybe it's a month, maybe it's 2 months, we'll find a way to just start jolting back up and going to all-time highs. We've seen it over here where we kind of have this little bit of a crash, come back up. We come back down here, hold a support level, then we come back up here. You know, we've done it before. Come back down here, hold that support level, bounce back off. It's happened many times in Bitcoin's history. But, you know, while we're in the thick of it, it really does just, it's a very painful thing to watch, right? And I've been trying to figure out some stuff, like, you know, the weekly chart, you're not going to really learn too much, but I was like, hey, do we have any divergences? Do we have anything else going on here? Not really that I think is like worth talking about as far as the weekly chart. The daily chart, you start to get into some things here. We got that, you know, change your character bearish a signal over here with all the momentum. That was a good shorting opportunity. But all I can see here, at least on the MACD stochastic on our side, I really focus more on the MACD, I think, when it comes to divergences. We might have something of a higher low working out at this point, but you see how those lower lows are happening, those lower highs are happening. You know, it's still not enough there. You see that divergence occurring, but we're still not finding a way to get back above all of this resistance level up here, which you guys could basically think of as like 61,000, 62,000. That huge area right there is just a massive resistance, and it's something we're just not really able to break out above right now. I was optimistic that we may have a chance today with CPI coming out, even though the daily was still bearish and the weekly was still bearish. I kind of took a what I call a YOLO long here, just like to get something in there because I thought we might have an opportunity, and I didn't really want to miss it. And guess what? I ended up losing some money on that trade because as soon as that CPI data came out at the 2.9%, Bitcoin just succumbed to the overall momentum, and it just was not able to kind of get itself back on track here. So let me move this, make sure that's fine. I'm making sure. Okay, no, there's still just the town hall stuff going on. I was making sure it's not special. But anyway, so that's kind of what's happening right now as you guys look at some of those charts. Let me go back over here very fast. The 4-hour chart right here, you know, you might see something happening here very soon. I was hoping we might break out or something like this. You know, maybe we might bounce, come back up here. Excuse me. And even when we broke out right here, nothing really happened. We kind of just went sideways, and that was almost your first warning that something bad might occur. I still think we actually do have a little bit of hope of making a move to the upside here. It may take until a little bit, maybe Friday or Saturday, but it's going to be more of whale activity, I think, than the average technical analysis. Going over here to the 1-hour chart, you can still see we have some support. And if you guys are looking to buy right now, you're probably looking to buy around the $58,000 level, so maybe about like $700 to $600 less than where we are right now. And you're hoping for some type of pop back up. But you can see exactly when CPI came out this morning, or pretty much so, right there. We just had a pretty strong move down, and we're hitting that order block right now. I don't think we're probably going to bounce off too strongly, but, you know, I can hope at this point. I can hope. And I'm going to be making some tutorial videos about this down the road. I'm going to start making some more tutorial videos actually next week. I actually have a list made up. I do have another layout here. You know, Market Cipher. Some of you guys have been asking me about Market Cipher for a while now. I really hadn't known how to use it for a minute. I got the gist of it down for the most part right now. And so I'll start making tutorial videos about this, and some of my daily content, I'll start talking about this a little bit as well. Not a lot, but a little bit here. And yeah, I'll see how you guys like this. It's a little bit more confusing to learn because you got, like, you know, brighter colors versus darker colors. I guess bad diamonds and you know, local tops and green dots and red dots and stuff like that. But it is pretty darn useful, and I'll probably start talking about it here a little bit more as time goes on. This is just kind of a little bit of an introduction to it, and, you know, I'll start using it maybe a little bit more here. I guess I get back next Wednesday, so maybe Wednesday night if I'm actually awake, or no, I might be getting late because of the time loss. No, I gain time from back. Yeah, I might be up. Otherwise, I'll show it to you guys on Thursday when I start doing my tutorials and stuff like that. So I'm keeping an eye on this type of stuff as well. I'm learning it slowly, but you know, they have some good tutorials over there. So let's go over here. Let's get rid of some of the stuff right here as far as Democrats, Wizz Air, and CNBC. Oh, Japan's second quarter GDP beat expectations, expands 0.8% from previous quarter. That must be some good news, right? Is that having any effect on Bitcoin right now at all? Any effect? Is it doing anything with the dollar? That's 8 a.m. Jeez, look at the CPI data right here. Came up, came down, blasted back up here. That is so volatile when it doesn't need to be volatile. And oil is coming back down after popping off the last few days. Yeah, everything is just kind of very volatile right now. More volatile than it should be. It's almost making trading like not worth it at this point. Now, we want to trade these moves. We don't really want to trade this little stuff here too much. Don't really want to trade those little hiccups. We want to trade these larger moves, even if it's from here to here, like before, or from here to here, you know, from support to support right there. So even from, like, you know, anywhere, we want to trade those larger moves and not these little puffs when we go sideways here. Unless you guys are scalping, but then you guys aren't even looking at the daily charts as much. You guys might be looking at the hourly chart, waiting for that bearish system to hit, and you might be hitting every 5-minute bearish call that comes down with the MACD. But right now, again, it's going to be a little bit more risky to trade here. I have this Crypto Harris town hall on. I have no idea who Amanda Wick is. There's Mark Cuban. Here's Mark Cuban. Okay, we can actually see what he has to say. We're not going to pay attention to this for too long, honestly, guys. If it was more of a Harris forward thing, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do it. But it's not. I think it's just people that want to, like, pump her up to the community. And I don't know. I didn't even know this was happening until about half an hour ago. So let's see what they're talking about here.
Opportunity to create wealth. That's such a huge opportunity for us because the rest of us need crypto and the Republicans couldn't care less. They just want to see the Bitcoin maxis get richer. So with that thought in mind, I'm going to introduce you to our next speaker, Chuck Schumer, the majority leader of the United States Senate. You also know him because of his recent work on crypto. He was just fantastic.
He's literally reading notes. He's being told what to say.
Approach to SAB 121 and his leadership.
But this is actually interesting. I'm actually interested to hear what the people in power on the Democratic side think. Just for a little bit, though. We're not going to pay attention to this too long.
And is a tireless worker for New York. And he is working for a future where we have a thoughtful, bipartisan framework on crypto that allows U.S. innovation to thrive. I'll turn it over to you, Senator Schumer.
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you for that nice introduction and for your great work in so many different areas. I can't root for the Mavericks. I got to root for the Knicks, but I still think you're great. So it's great to be here for.
If you guys are just joining in, this is Crypto for Harris Town Hall. I just want to hear what they actually have to say about cryptocurrency.
Thank Mark, not only for his introduction, but as I said, for doing so many good things in so many good areas. This guy cares about things, and he calls me up about them all the time. Make this part of the world better, that part of the world better, etc. I also want to thank Sheila Warren and all of you.
Make me money over there.
Now, there's great enthusiasm for the Harris wall ticket from every corner of our country. You can feel it, you can see it, you can smell it. It's gotten Democrats and Americans as a whole who are worried about the advent of Donald Trump so excited. And why are we here today? Because we all support Vice President Kamala Harris to be our next president, and we all believe in the future of crypto, as Mark outlined. I believe in my bones that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will win this election. They'll lead Democrats to the majority, we'll keep the majority in the Senate, we'll get the majority in the House, and then there ain't nothing stopping us. Now, being here with you today is very important, and that's why I made time on my schedule here. Crypto's been around, of course, for over a decade. It's grown more influential than anyone could have anticipated years ago. Each and every day, as Mark said, it's not an elite thing. An estimated 20% of Americans use these assets, and this will only grow in size and scale. I believe that Congress has a responsibility to provide common sense and sound regulation on crypto, and we need your support to make sure that any proposal is bipartisan. That's the only way we get things done. Ultimately, my goal when it comes to crypto regulation is this. I want to bring members on both sides of the aisle here in the Senate together, create momentum so we can pass sensible legislation that helps the United States maintain its status as the most innovative country in the world. My goal is to get something passed out of the Senate and into law by the end of the year, and I believe we can make that happen. I think we should strike a balance for crypto between promoting innovation and providing common sense guardrails. It's a similar approach we've taken with another innovative technology, artificial intelligence. With the right regulation, we can provide a foundation that will help crypto reach its full potential so it can continue growing and innovating. Innovation is our North Star when it comes to AI or crypto. But we also need to provide some guardrails to keep users of this technology safe, to preserve our national security, and to ensure that this tech can't be abused by criminal organizations or other nefarious actors at the expense of the public good. And only Congress has the ability to provide this kind of balanced regulation. To get this all done, it's got to be a team effort. Congress and industry must all work together so we can create regulations that provide clarity and a sense of predictability and stability for crypto. As you all know, legislation's never easy, especially in divided government, but we've accomplished impactful bipartisan legislation over so many issues over the past 2 years. As leader, I've always tried to get things done in a bipartisan way, and I think we can do it again. But Washington cannot just look away from crypto, stick our heads in the sand and do nothing. We cannot afford to continue to sit on the sidelines, because then we risk crypto going overseas to lowest common denominator countries where there'll be no regulation at all. And if we get nothing done,
that's already happening.
Win.
That is already happening right now.
There are a lot of members in Congress nowadays who built their political brands around creating spectacle and sensationalism instead of putting in the hard work of legislation. Nonetheless, passing legislation this year is absolutely possible, even in these divided times. I know it because I've done it over and over again as majority leader. You all have seen me do it on numerous occasions before. The key to getting these things done in polarized times is to have the right leaders with experience coming together and who can work in good faith, who have some humility in their work.
Look at the camera.
Who understand the importance of prioritizing getting to yes.
Maybe he's looking, but his glasses are
from
just
the Senate's
there.
recent work that can inform how we proceed on crypto. First, passing the Chips and Science Act. That was a dream of mine, and it got done. It's now law. We're seeing the fruits of our labor. And second, our recent work on AI. Enacting the Chips and Science Act was one of the best things the Senate did. It's one of the things I'm proudest to have gotten done under my leadership. Like all good ideas, it began in the Senate gym. I approached Senate Republican Todd Young and told him we should work together on legislation that would accomplish two things. Revive the federal government's longtime tradition of investing in scientific research, and also find a way to bring back advanced manufacturing for things like semiconductors back to our shores. We knew if the federal government failed to invest more towards scientific research and tech development, America risked ceding its future to countries like China. We got it done in a bipartisan way. And Todd and I, along with Martin Heinrich and Mike Rounds, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, did the same thing in a bipartisan way with AI. Together, we had a goal: keep AI innovation our North Star, but at the same time, produce guardrails so that bad.
Move it off to the side for a few seconds. He's talking. It's kind of a lot of mumble jumble right now. I don't think he actually typed this out himself. I think like one of his staff members did, and it's just very. It doesn't really mean much what he's saying, at least right now. I'm gonna put him back on play, but yeah, he's just not really saying much right now.
Tech from being used or manipulated or having severe adverse effects.
And hey, OP Mary Productions. Okay, so I was going through the news today, and like I do before all of my streams, like a half an hour ago, because I was running a little bit late. I made some or had some grapefruit juice, and basically, I saw that there was this post on I forget the CoinDesk, and it was saying how Democrats are going to court crypto people like us, and basically they said there was a Crypto for Harris town hall event, and I was like, what? I have heard nothing about this. And I tried, like, remember I told you guys the other day, if there's somebody talking about crypto, just something out there that like is interesting, I'm going to try to show it to you guys. But this, it's supposed to have Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was there for a few seconds. I don't know if he's coming back. And now we have Senator Chuck Schumer. I don't exactly know how this town hall is going to work, but it's there. It's happening. So far, I would not give it a good grade because nobody apparently rehearsed any of this stuff. They're really just reading off a piece of paper. And so I'm going to give them a little bit of time, see how this works out. I got my cigar here to keep me happy, I guess you would say, because this is not a rally type of thing. Oh no, he's raising his hands. He's doing something. Well, hold on.
Thank you so much, Senator Schumer. I am incredibly honored to next introduce Sheila Warren, a prominent figure in the crypto and Web3 space, known for her leadership in promoting responsible innovation and policy development all around the world.
I don't know who
As the
she
CEO
is.
of the Crypto Council for Innovation, she advocates to both political parties that crypto and blockchain technology should have bipartisan support to ensure America's role as a leader in digital innovation. Sheila?
Amanda, how great is this? Thanks so much for this.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pause her. I don't really have no, when they say people like this, and I don't know who them, and I go to a lot of events, and I have friends that go to even more events than me, and I don't know who they are. I feel like they're just trying to hype people up. So I'm gonna have this random lady off to the side of the screen here, Sheila Warren here. Maybe some of you guys have actually heard about her. I figured she might be on the CNBC Fox Business side of things, and not so much more on the conference floor, kind of in the mud and the trenches with the rest of us guys who have been here for a while. Can we hear him? If he comes back on, we'll see. So far, this thing is not at all what I anticipated. They literally framed it as a Kamala Harris town hall. So Kamala Harris was going to be there talking to people about cryptocurrency and our concerns to the community. So far, I'm not getting that vibe at all. I feel hoodwinked, bamboozled. And so I'm going to kind of keep it off to the side. I'm going to see if anything is happening. I mean, right now, like I literally just went to this blue screen. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Joining tonight's Crypto for Harris Town Hall. I also want to thank the organizers of this initiative.
See, this is like a pre-recorded message or something. I can't tell what the heck this is. Listen.
Got off the sidelines and you did it. That's the kind of initiative that defines this community, and it's the kind of spirit that will make a difference for Vice President Harris. Tonight's speakers show the diversity of the crypto space. It's entrepreneurs, advocates, creators, business leaders, and officials. It's people from communities that have been underserved and overlooked for generations. It's people from all walks of life who share the belief that America must be the leader in digital assets. I believe that too, and so do my colleagues in the Senate. We've been working hard to develop a comprehensive cryptocurrency framework that enables entrepreneurs and businesses to innovate responsibly
is exactly
while
that.
also protecting consumers and cracking down on bad actors. Significant progress has been made, and we've heard members of this administration encourage our work. Like you, they understand the regulatory clarity is good for everyone. I am sure that a future Harris administration would understand and facilitate that kind of balanced approach. Tonight's town hall has demonstrated this.
Do you know, like, when you get the, like, when you go through, like, the HR training seminar, this is exactly that right now. I feel kind of weird. I'm going to keep playing her for a couple seconds here, but it definitely is kind of a freaky thing. She's trying to sound optimistic. You guys can see there's a donation button right here, and there's a volunteer button right there if you guys want to scan. If you guys want to volunteer or donate, you guys can. I ain't, but if you guys want to, it's there. That's Joe Biden's granddaughter. You almost had me for a second.
I always love hearing from her. I'm now going to be joined by my friend Justin Slaughter, who's the VP of Reg Affairs at Paradigm and the co-author with me of a series of op-eds about Democrats and crypto.
This feels like a group of bureaucrats. It feels like a bureaucratic town hall. I think that's the word I'd use right now, bureaucratic.
With a Harris-Trump matchup, or in a situation where crypto, which is obviously
happy to see, man.
Inherently is suddenly this crucial election issue. And I know you and I both believe
Bitcoin is not moving off of any of this, just so you guys know.
Partisan, more bipartisan world, as Senator Schumer said, where, as you put it, being against crypto is as crazy as being against toaster ovens.
Exactly right, Sheila. And I'm here because I'm not only a partisan Democrat supporting Harris, but also because I continue to believe crypto represents democratic and progressive values. Crypto is an exception to so much technology because it runs on blockchain and no single person or corporation can control it. We as Democrats and progressives value a world where power is dispersed to the people, where no one is so powerful that they can just dictate terms to the rest of us when it comes to civil rights and civil liberties. This is a decentralized world we're fighting for, and it's one that requires decentralized permissionless blockchains like Bitcoin, like Ether, like so many tokens.
I couldn't agree more. And of course, there's really not a lot of daylight between what Democrats have always strived for and what crypto at its very core seeks to realize, which is exactly why you and I.
Honestly, tell that to fucking Gary Gensler. If it wasn't for Gary Gensler, I think Democrats would actually have a way to, like, be more open to crypto. They would actually have, like, people be more open to just kind of listening to them. But Gary Gensler has messed up a large part of whatever goodwill they had, I think, with a large part of the crypto community. We'll listen to like another minute of this. I'm going to move it over to the side again, and I'm going to see if there's like another guest or something. I'll pop them up. But these are just pure bureaucrats, and I don't like hearing bureaucrats.
We're long overdue for a reset, and I'm wearing my vintage
reset.
Positive America shirt, so the spirit's moving me, and I have a confession to make. Even though I was part of the Biden admin, I was at the SEC at the start of the Biden administration. I couldn't bring myself to vote for Joe Biden in the primary this spring. I just think his admin has made a lot of mistakes on tech policy and on crypto specifically. I do think, though, that Kamala Harris, that VP Harris, wants to make changes in terms of the Democrats' approach to crypto and to return to the pro-innovation approach of prior Democrats. And if she reaches her hand out, we need to take that outstretched hand and try to help her administration have a good approach to crypto.
And look, what I would hate to see, I said this, I did a viral thread, I think it was last year. Where
I'm happy she's at least extending the hand.
Watching the Biden administration through the CHIPS Act, trying to drag semiconductor chip manufacturing back on shore, while at the same time kind of allowing crypto to offshore is just wild. And we cannot afford to make that mistake again. Just as with chips, we did not foresee how incredibly crucial they would be to so many parts of our economy and national security efforts and apparatus. Similarly, with crypto, the trajectory here, and we heard from these founders earlier, there's so many different aspects of our society that it affects. Not to mention the fact that having a Harris administration support crypto is just logical, given how many registered Democrats actually use and engage with the technology.
Okay, makes a good point there. Honestly, the guy kind of just like fucking threw Joe Biden underneath the bus right there, but he's not the guy running anymore, so you can do that. But the way they're talking about how they need to like get on board with this, I kind of like it. I vibe with it a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see how they do.
There's higher numbers among Democrats of color. 5% of Democratic voters own more than $10,000 in crypto. And that includes 10% of Hispanic Democrats and 10% of Asian American Pacific Islander Democrats. Contrary to some of the claims made in and around DC, Democratic voters overwhelmingly want the U.S. to be a leader in crypto. And we're falling behind the rest of the world, as you know, Sheila. They support financial privacy. They fear a second Trump admin abusing TradFi to hurt them and their families' access to our financial system. And 14% of Democrats say they are likely to buy their first token in the next year. Democrats already love crypto, but I think VP Harris will be able to be the first true pro-crypto president. And neither former President Trump or President Biden has been pro-crypto yet. She can be the first.
See, at this point, I'm not entirely sure. She hasn't been vocal about crypto until just now, right before the election. And on top of that, Trump's kind of just has her beat on this issue like completely. I don't see how she can come back from that, right? And plus, again, it all comes back down for me to Gary Gensler. I know Gary Gensler might have a position in her future cabinet if she's elected.
That so many on this call are sharing about the importance of the technology, about its crucial and critical importance to the future of our country and of all Americans. And thanks so much, Justin, for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Sheila. This has been great. I think this really speaks to how far we've come and how far we can go forward together, united.
Thanks, Justin. Next up, it's my great pleasure to introduce Congressman Wiley Nickel. Wiley is the U.S. representative from a purple district in North Carolina who serves on the Digital Assets Subcommittee of the House Financial Services Committee.
This could be something more interesting, I guess.
He has been a champion for significantly expanding the group of pro-crypto Democrats, which, contrary to what Twitter might tell you, is
Jason,
actually quite large.
Yeah.
I am personally grateful to him for helping pave the way to secure support from 71 House Democrats on Fit 21. And he was also the Democratic lead on the Congressional Review Act to overturn SAB 121. It gives me so much joy to hand the mic to my friend, Wiley Nickel. Congressman.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Wiley Nickel. I represent.
Remember, they did pass one of those bills, and it was vetoed by Joe Biden. Just saying.
Thank you, Sheila, again, and everyone at the CCI team. We couldn't do this work without you. And I want to just pause for a second, but because what we heard from Senator Schumer was a big deal. He made a lot of news tonight, and that was really terrific to hear about his plans in the Senate and what he's going to get done. So I think that really was headline news just now.
Don't
and
believe a
big deal.
politician's
But,
promise.
in the House, I've been working to build a coalition around Web3, blockchain technology, and a new approach on crypto regulation. We've managed to garner support from all corners of the party. And it's a great time to see so many people taking time out of their busy lives who care not only about this issue, but about electing Kamala Harris in November. If you're online in spaces where people talk about crypto regulation, you might see a lot of talk about Trump, but we're here to break that narrative because digital assets and blockchain technology, it's not a partisan issue. Turning this into a political football is only going to set us back.
Again, it all goes back down to Gary Gensler, and who pretty much controls Gary Gensler right now? Elizabeth Warren, who is, a Democrat in many people's eyes, right?
Things. A few weeks ago, I spoke ahead of Donald Trump at Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville. I made the progressive case for Bitcoin. And let me tell you, there's only one candidate running for president who's called crypto a scam, and that's Donald Trump. He did absolutely nothing for 4 years as president and was openly hostile up until just recently. And I said this very respectfully in Nashville from the main stage, but
They're
Donald
not
Trump
going
is
to do that,
totally
Ty.
full of shit. And if you don't believe
Oh,
me, ask his vice president. He'll tell you the same thing.
we get some
Mike
sass.
Pence. Listen, folks, the current financial system, as we've heard tonight, is leaving many Americans behind. According to recent surveys, 4 in 5 voters think the current financial system favors the elites over working families. And the facts don't lie. Compared to traditional financial products, digital assets are being adopted at higher rates among Gen Z, Black and Latino Americans.
I
and
did see
immigrant
him, yeah.
communities.
I didn't listen
These are
to him.
key
I don't like
constituencies
listening to
for the
politicians.
Democratic Party. And this technology is nonpartisan. As Democrats,
But yeah,
we
he was
care
there, though.
about
Yeah, he's
financial
not lying about
inclusion,
that.
keeping digital innovation in America and protecting consumers. And we'll champion these innovations to help reaffirm America's position as the leader of the global economy. In Congress, I led the way in whipping support from 71 Democrats on Fit 21, our landmark crypto regulation legislation. I also led a letter on behalf of my colleagues to the DNC and the Harris campaign calling for a forward-looking approach to digital assets. I've succeeded in encouraging the Harris campaign to engage with industry. That's a big deal, a great first step, and I'm continuing to make the case for an important reset with her campaign. I couldn't do any of this without the support from all of you. Vice President Harris's fresh
He's kind of just going into like the, oh, she's so awesome thing. But the reason why you probably haven't heard much of what he's talking about is he's talking a lot about self-accolades. Like, I helped Congress do that. I helped do that. I don't think he's as important as he's trying to make himself out to be. However, he was part of the process of trying to pass bills. So he is more of a pro-crypto Democrat, you could say. But in terms of, he wants there to be a little more regulation, but he's giving some to the Republicans so they can at least get something out there. So so businesses, at least Web3 companies, whatever you want to call them, blockchain companies, they have some type of framework to do their business in. Because right now there's no framework, that's what's kind of going on. Right now, obviously, Republicans have a better framework to me because there's less restriction, less regulation in that framework. And we all know that right now, nobody wants regulation. So everybody that has these types of jobs and careers and businesses, ideas, they're all going outside of the U.S. in order to start these new companies up. And maybe one day they'll move out to the United States. We never know. But as far as where they're starting up, it's not here. This is not where everything is happening and buzzing and things like that. This is not it, so to speak, in the crypto world.
House races. Democrats already have some great.
Oh, and by the way, next year I'm already looking up. Next year I'm planning on going to some of the Latin American conferences and expos down in Mexico and Argentina, and I'm also going to go to Singapore next year, and I'm also going to try to go to Korea next year. Maybe even, not this year, but next year for Korea too.
I'm joined today by 4 of my colleagues who are running great campaigns. They need our help, and they all have a story to tell why they've leaned in on crypto and digital innovation. We're joined tonight by these 4
They hopped in because they want some votes and some donations.
Don Davis from Eastern North Carolina, Yadira Caraveo from Colorado, Josh Harder from California, and Stephen Horsford from Las Vegas, also the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, who sits with me on the House Financial Services Committee and has been a leader on this issue from the start. Don, so great to see you tonight. As a freshman congressman from rural North Carolina,
Very scripted,
why
Redline.
is crypto
Very scripted.
important to the communities that you represent?
Well, thank you so much, Wally, my distinguished colleague from the great state of North Carolina, and to all of my other colleagues. It's so good to see you, and I'm so excited to be able to work with you, my chair, a ranking member, on such an important topic. For me, I was first exposed to crypto by my son. This was during COVID. I walked into the room and then he just shared with me what he was working on the computer, and he was researching cryptocurrency. I'm like, wow. But it opened my eyes representing rural America, which my district is very rural. We see development can be uneven, banking can be, our residents, constituents can be underserved. And this is a really important issue and an opportunity that I see that we're able through innovation to continue not to leave rural America behind, but in essence to help make sure that we
I'll have to look into that wilder. That actually sounds like a good idea.
Playing field. So I'm honored to be here today. I'm honored to be able to support our next president, Kamala Harris. And yes, I do believe that this is an area that not only would help the American people to be a leader.
All right. So I'm going to put this off to the side for a little bit. We're going to look at some technical analysis for some other tokens. We'll come back to this. It's just that this isn't very exciting, and I don't want to have like a 2-hour-long Harris political campaign on the channel here. If Kamala Harris comes up, I will play her as long as she wants to talk about cryptocurrency, because all of that will be juicy news. But for these guys, I mean, they had Mark Cuban on there, but what was it like for like a minute or something like that? When we go over here and look at the page, just when you thought we were done, who do you think Mark Cuban will partner up with for tonight's discussion? You're going to have to log on and find out. You won't want to miss it. Starting in 33 minutes, okay. Well, he already spoke for like a few seconds, but I guess it might be something else. It's supposed to go on from 8 o'clock to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now, that means it's 8:30 over there now, so there's still like an hour left of this thing. We'll see what happens, but when the big dogs start coming on, maybe towards the end of it, I think that's when I'll probably, talk with you guys about more stuff. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this. These are people, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't really care, to be honest. I just kind of want to hear Kamala. And you can see they reposted something with Senator Chuck Schumer and Mark Cuban. They make you think that it was such a long little thing. But for whatever reason, nobody knows how to stay centered in their camera, which sucks for me, who likes to have everything centered. And then Mark Cuban on the side, really all over the place. But you know what? He's a billionaire. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Now, this was also some big news here today. U.S. government transfers $600 million in Bitcoin to Coinbase. The U.S. government has transferred over 10,000 Bitcoin or 10,000 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $593 million, from a wallet linked to Silk Road Caseoh Coinbase Prime. This move is part of a larger seizure of Bitcoin from Silk Road, totaling around $2 billion. The transfer has sparked discussion and speculation among cryptocurrency enthusiasts and analysts regarding the government's intentions with the seized Bitcoin, including the possibility of selling the assets. If they sell it going into the election, oh my God, all this work that they're doing right now to like pump up Kamala Harris, it will all go away in a minute. So they really got to be careful about how they approach this. And also, I'm looking at this right here. You guys can't see it, but it's right on the side here. I'll do this view very fast. So you see my page right here, but right below it, it says Sham Crypto for Queen Kamala Town Hall commentary. So there's people talking about it right now as well. We'll go to it in a little bit here, but again, it's just not so much interesting stuff happening. I guess if we go over here to what's actually happening on Twitter, AEW Dynamite, Judon, I don't know who that is. The Challenge, there's nothing really going on tonight on X. Sylvester Stallone, what's going on with that guy? Right, what's going on with Sylvester Stallone? Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, and Bridget Nielsen on the roller coaster 1987. That must have been a good time. Oh, let's see. No, they're just talking about it for whatever reason. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, even though Bitcoin remains bearish, we're still looking at everything else. Ethereum has made that bullish move on the stochastic RSI and MACD. So again, it almost feels like Bitcoin dominance wants to chill for a second, and you might even see Bitcoin dominance go down, especially if you're seeing something like Ethereum start to be a little bit more bullish, especially if Ethereum can start breaking back above, I don't know, maybe 2,800. You might be able to see something of a larger move happen there, and then of course Ethereum start moving to 3,305. Solana, not bullish just yet, but hopefully it can be. The fact that Ethereum is, though, gives me a little bit of hope. Not a lot, but a little bit of hope. Usually once Ethereum starts to get bullish here, we typically keep on going. Right here is an example where it did not, where we went up a little bit, we came back down before the other one. That one still came up a little bit more. So I'm hoping we can have some moves. Everything for today seems to be kind of iffy right now, though. Let me see right here. U.S. government did this under whose administration? Kamala Toe. Oh, Jesus. Chance to talk in Nashville, but I think she declined. Now she goes with all these random people and no one cares about. No, when you see these types of town halls and stuff, yeah, I'll play it a little bit more for you. I'm going to play with a little bit less volume, though.
Don Davis, Josh Harder, Yadira Caraveo, Democrats in Congress working hard.
Can you guys faintly hear what they're talking about? When the Sony bid comes on, I'll max it out.
Majority in the next Congress. I think Stephen Horsford is going to get to us later.
But they had she did have an opportunity to go in front of everybody in Bitcoin Nashville. She would have gotten some boost. She would have. But if she would have given some real pro crypto policy decisions out there with everybody, she would have gotten applause. She would have had to denounce Joe Biden and his crypto policies, and apologize even. But she could have done she could have got some love out of it, basically. And I don't think she's getting any love out of it now, because again, she didn't go, and so far all this meeting, she's not there. Here right now, we have the governor of Colorado. So again, this is somebody who somewhat important to listen to about his position on crypto.
Congress, I hope it's still going, Wiley. I started the blockchain caucus. If it's not going, maybe you can get it back going again. But
I remember.
Good. We started it.
Somebody has a dog
ago now. Sorry, it's my dog back in dark in the background. Shiba Inu, of course. No worries. Well, she thinks she's a Shiba. So look, we're really.
I'm actually watching Dogecoin's price right now. It's not moving.
Very first state. Also, it's super fun to beat Ron DeSantis in anything because he was trying to be the first. But we beat him to accept crypto for basically all state purposes. So for taxes, but for your Department of Motor Vehicles, your hunting license, whatever you want to do, interacting with the state. We got that rolled out. We're really excited about creating kind of regulatory sandboxes to allow people to experiment and play around in this area. Obviously, the frustrating thing for us is a lot of this is federal, right? So we are very excited to innovate in Colorado, but this is why.
See, states can pass their own laws if they really wanted to here, but I guess he's not talking too much about that. I'm listening to what he has to say. He's not saying anything crazy right now. Will Brown give her the lever. Oh my God. This is worse than the CNN town hall right now. This is not anything I thought it was going to be. They could have built so much hype around this, but they did not. She doesn't deserve any of the love. No, right now I don't think she does deserve any love as far as from the crypto community. But I said she could have. She could have if she would have went to Bitcoin Nashville, taken in the booze, accepted the booze, said, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong side of this thing. Here are the things that I'm going to change. And most people, most likely, would not have believed her that much. But she might have got a little bit of love, a little people saying, oh, I can open up. And those would be those Democratic crypto diehards who's like, I can't vote for Kamala because I don't want this type of stuff to, I don't want these types of laws, right? But again, she didn't do any of that type of stuff. So it makes it much more difficult for people out there to be like, oh yeah, I can vibe with Kamala, but I also at the same time really love all my Bitcoin. There are people out there like that, but most are not. And in this election where everything is kind of tight right now, every voter matters. She might not care about my vote out here in Washington State or vote out in Oregon or California because we're all kind of, very liberal leaning over here. But that person in Michigan, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Minnesota, she could very much care about what they're voting for. And just like me, just like you, they have cryptocurrency and they're paying attention to different types of crypto policy. There may not be millions and millions and millions and millions of us just diehards out there, but there's a significant amount that can move parts of the electorate, right? accepted the booze or accepted the booze. It'd be accept the boo, like boo. I mean, anybody would accept booze. I would accept booze if you guys gave it to me right now. I don't really have much alcohol left in my house right now. I kind of drank it all over time. I probably have like 30 bottles of wine, but I haven't been really much of a wine drinker. I typically don't drink wine too much in the summertime. It's more of a winter drink for me and a fall drink. Fall, winter, yeah, maybe spring a little bit. But summer, I usually don't drink wine. I have to pick up a bunch of bottles actually coming up tomorrow, tonight. Let's go tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I don't like to drink too much in the heat. They don't have any credibility until they fire the SEC leader. Well, Kamala Harris could have went over there and said, hey, I support firing Gary Gensler, and then the crowd would have went wild. You could have said, hey, free the Silk Road guy. You could have said, free him. There could have been a lot of people, that there could have been some momentum there. But again, when you're talking about cryptocurrency, there's not too many crypto people out there that are going to be close to these politicians, unless they're some type of lobbyist. And so if you're talking about who's making Kamala Harris's decisions, it's probably some political actor, right? Some guy in the political realm giving her advice. This is the strategy that we're trying to get you on. And they probably don't know enough about cryptocurrency, or they don't give it enough props to say, hey, people actually vote on this subject. And so they're not really having her do too much. They notice it now. They're doing something. But so far, I would say this is a very inadequate way to get into the crypto realm, and as far as people's mindset about you, right? This is not, so far, this has nothing to do with how I say this. This hasn't changed my opinion on her crypto policy stance at all, right? Yeah, we'll listen to this lady again.
It's a real honor and privilege for me to introduce next a senior member of Democratic leadership in the Senate who has long been a champion of finding the best ways to promote American leadership and innovation while ensuring that consumers and innovators can safely participate. Investors. She's chairman of one of the primary committees of jurisdiction over digital assets, and she's been a thoughtful leader and a thought leader in crafting new and important rules of the road. I can personally attest that she has been not only open-minded, but absolutely tireless in listening, understanding, and incorporating the concerns and challenges across the crypto ecosystem. It's my sincere pleasure to introduce from the great state of Michigan, Senator Debbie Stabenow. Senator, over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Sheila. It's wonderful listening to my House colleagues who are such champions, and governors and everyone that understands about
Senator,
the importance
I'm willing to listen to what she has to say for a little
and
bit.
keeping it in America and what we can be doing together. So I know you've heard from my colleague and leader, Senator Schumer, already. I don't know, you've probably heard already from Kirsten Gillibrand. We are working very closely together through my Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry
There you go. I
Committee.
put a pin on this so I can do all this type of
CFTC,
stuff.
The commodity pieces of this, and doing as much as we can in the commodity space. And lots of folks say to me, well, you chair the Ag Committee, what are you doing with crypto? And I said, well,
I'm going to check Kamala Harris's website to see if she has anything about crypto policy at all.
and we want to make sure that we are providing the structure that both protects consumers, but also allows this innovation to really flourish. And so I'm committed to getting something done, and that's the bottom line. And I can tell you that the Democrats in the Senate, our House colleagues have already moved forward a bill. In the Senate, it's the Democrats that are serious about getting something done. And of course, working with our great new president.
There's no policy on here.
Having worked with her in the Senate, and then now to have her president will be just absolutely wonderful. But I do want you to know, I wanted to be with you tonight to just reaffirm the fact that we are committed to keeping
There's no policy. Wow.
in the United States, supporting the growth.
That's terrible.
And at the same time, protecting the interests of consumers. That's the way we have to pull this all together. And that's what we've worked so hard on in the Senate. And I'm so grateful to so many people in the industry. We have had so many meetings I can't count with people in the industry and gotten input and have been fine tuning. And
yeah, Woody, that's really bad not to have any policy as a politician on your campaign site. That is wild.
For the industry and also works.
That makes me not want to vote for her even more.
We have a bill.
Just put out, what do you want? What do you want to do with the country? Just tell me, you know what I mean?
Of members of the crypto industry are
consider old money.
supporting and have given input into, that would establish clear rules of the road for trading of crypto tokens, including Bitcoin and Ether. It's set up that exchanges and brokers and dealers will register with the CFTC, and at the same time, CFTC will be given the power to be able to protect consumers from fraud and abuse in the
So
markets,
CFTC,
while
not
allowing
the SEC. That's different.
blockchain technology to flourish. That's what we want to see happen. So again, I appreciate all the input. This is complicated. I certainly did not start out as any kind of an expert, but I feel like I'm a little bit of an expert now, because we have spent a lot of time on this and have been very grateful for all the smart people that have given us input so that we can do our part to create integrity in a system, credibility, transparency, in a way that is important for the industry. That this happened. So let me just stress again that we're committed to get something done. I am very frustrated because we had the opportunity. I tried to get a vote on our bill in the committee the end of July, and if we had done that, we would be coming back in September and being able to get a full vote. This is something Senator Schumer was strongly supportive of. But unfortunately, Republicans just played games with us in the Senate. They're playing games right now, and they.
Just as a little bit of a side note, nothing wrong with what she's saying right now, as much as I'm paying attention. But YouTube said that my stream rate isn't that good, and you guys might experience some disruption. Let me know if you guys are getting any buffering or anything like that. My software says you guys should not, but it's also sending out half the rate it normally does. So I see that. But on here, it's also saying that, something's out. So let me know if you guys are experiencing any mess ups here from the YouTube.
That is thoughtful, that embraces innovation, embraces the future, and that we're going to be doing something that is really, really important, but not only for the industry, but for people that are involved as consumers as well. So thanks to everybody on tonight. This is a really important conversation, and I'm committed to getting something done.
Well, thank you, Senator Stabenow. With your leadership, I know we are going to get this over the top. But we also have two great House colleagues who are running for the Senate, and they're campaigning hard all across the country in their respective states. They couldn't join us live tonight.
You guys should like the video because
such an important event.
You guys should like the video for this. I had to give them my email for this, which means they're going to send me a bunch of emails before I unsubscribe. So say thank you by liking the video.
So check out Alyssa Slotkin, running in Michigan, a former CIA analyst who served in Iraq and is fighting hard for working families, and Adam Schiff, a champion for democracy, who is running in California. These are both key races to holding our Senate majority. We're going to roll both of those videos now.
Oh, hell no. I'm not watching fucking little political ads. You got to be fucking kidding me there. I'll put this on the side here. There's no fuck. I didn't know the last lady too. That's why it all seems so freaking weird and awkward. It's because they're all like pre-recorded bullshit. All right. But yeah. So you guys see what's happening right now. They're talking a little bit here. If Kamala comes out, I'll let you know. So far it's just But I feel like we're all kind of bonding over our disagreements or agreements with Democrats on policy. So I like hearing all of you guys' different positions, whether they be pro-Kamala, anti-Kamala, anti-Trump, pro-Trump, pro-RFK, or bad RF or anti-RFK, whatever. I like hearing you guys' thoughts here. Excuse me. Barron has made memes. Barron has not made any memes. Only Martin I can't pronounce that guy's name, but yeah, that guy went to jail. I remember him. Not in Florida. Hey, thanks to Real Life. I appreciate that, you guys. And so far, it's been an okay day at crypto. If you guys want to watch Adam Schiff, we can watch Adam Schiff, but I don't really want to watch Adam Schiff. He lost a lot of credibility with me with that Russia stuff back in like the 2016, 2017. I really thought Russia was doing some shit with America, and I was like, oh shit, it wasn't real. And I was like, damn, okay. Well, I feel like a fucking fool. When is 64 going to break? If I was to guess, it'd probably happen at the end of this month or going into September. Right now, Bitcoin, to be honest, is still kind of bearish. And I I keep on waiting. I'm waiting. You guys can see this 15-minute chart here. But look at the weekly chart. Everything about this chart right now is still saying bearish. If you guys want to see something bullish, it's going to have to be something inorganic, and you're going to have to see more whale activity really kicking up. We don't really get too much whale activity right now on the bullish side here, so I'm just haven't been ultimately too excited. One of the things you may say it's whale activity, but it was just kind of a normal instinctual thing. Hold on a second here. Ooh, beautiful. One of the things that we saw, was BlackRock, all of the major ETFs, they came and bought the big dip here from a few days ago. That was awesome. That was amazing. But so far, we've kind of popped back up, and we're kind of holding. We might be coming back down here for another dip, right? Something of a higher low, or we're going to come down here and crash and burn. Hopefully, that's not the case. But for right now, everything still remains kind of bearish, and it really makes it very, very annoying. We're hoping that, again, I would say we have maybe 2 or 3 days left. I would say by Saturday night, when I would normally stream, but I'm not because I'm going to be on a plane in Philadelphia. I'll make an update video for you guys, though. You're hoping that fairly soon, maybe as soon as Friday, maybe, you're going to see Bitcoin make a massive breakout here towards $65,000, $66,000. More likely around $65,000, but that's fine. You're hoping for that big breakout above all this resistance it's facing right now. You're hoping. If we do start breaking back down below 57,622, that's where things get a little bit more scary, a little bit more dicey. Right now, at least there's still some hope. I was hoping that the MACD would be green today, actually, but guess what? It was not. Look at that. We came so close, then we closed down, then we're still down. So when this turns green, I think I'm actually going to be pretty excited to go long here. Last time we were all green, we had a pretty good experience afterwards, right? Right here, whoosh. But it was kind of clunky and ugly for a while going up until that moment. I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what happens. But for now, it's kind of just like this is more of a shorter's market right now, not so much of a longer's market. I'm looking at who's talking. There's some Democratic nominees. There's one person that doesn't even have the time of day to put their face up. If you can't put your face up, something is wrong with you. You shouldn't be a politician. Yeah, speaking to me speaking. Okay, hold on a second here, guys. The little doggo would like a treato. Almost said Cheeto. Doop. And there we go. There we go. Oh. What about, can I just have it for once? It's like a hamburger, right? Yeah. Can I? It smells kind of good. Claws are kind of sharp, though. You want it? Okay. Yeah. Good. Tasty. Yeah. Then he comes over for a head rub, get a little butt rub, and he kind of rubs up against my legs like a freaking cat because he grew up with a cat. And then he just sits next to me for a couple minutes like saying, hey, man, appreciate the treat. All right. There we go. Back over here. We may see Bitcoin trying to do a small reversal here. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping we can have that move. 15-minute is bullish right now. The 30-minute is turning bullish right here. No change of character, but at least the momentum is shifting. 1 hour still bearish. 2 hours still bearish. 4 hours still bearish. Daily still bearish. Weekly still bearish. And monthly still bullish, but showing some signs of weakness here. Which isn't necessarily bad for the stochastic, but, like right here with COVID, it dipped down and it kind of went back up. RSI is tilting back over. Oop, let's put that back up here. We're all just kind of waiting to see if we're going to have a larger move. But this monthly chart, I mean, look at that. Low, 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 low. Yuck, 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 yuck. It almost feels like we need another capitulation all the way back down here. Maybe back down to like the mid-40s, and then we're going to bounce off. But I don't know. Whatever we do here, look at this Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 months, okay? I'm doing pretty much nothing. We don't really have those too often. Right? Something like this. We could just be in this process where we have to wait a little bit more, then it starts to go parabolic. But we may just be in something like that. Yeah, we really don't see that happening too much. There we go. Right now, there's just candidates talking. We can listen to a couple candidates. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts about this type of stuff. Obviously, the market's being the market. We already talked about that, but if you guys like anything they're saying, let me know. If you guys hate what they're saying, let me know that too.
We need to set up, a really exciting framework for these technologies. I'll close with one last story, which is this. I was the chief of staff of NASA during President Obama's administration. And what we did then was we set up a foundation.
Was it NASA closed down during Obama's administration?
Leadership in space. And that was crucial, that public-private partnership where we set things, in the right way that enable American.
I have not tried the Man O' War cigars ruination. I have not tried them.
Has generated amazing job growth, and we now kick butt globally in the aerospace world, and that's what we need to do now.
We kick butt in the aerospace world? Tell that to Boeing.
And I look
Elon Musk is what's making America great again. Quotations when it comes to space program. Poor Boeing guys. I feel so bad that they're stuck in space.
Shamari, I had the honor of living in Alabama for a few years, so I am excited to have you here. And
buy and hold Bitcoin all the way. There you go.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I apologize for joining late and the attire. I was literally supposed to be on a plane, but a bird struck the plane coming in, and so I got delayed. So, but I really want
to. We'll see if it gets better or not.
I kept on my flight hoodie, and here I am. George and Sarah, good to see you guys. George, it's always great to be in a virtual room with a fellow Obama administration alum. So good to see you guys. My jobs in the Obama administration were not as cool as NASA. I was at the White House for a few years, and then over at the Department of Justice. But look, I come from a district here in Alabama where we cannot afford, we simply cannot afford to continue to fall behind the rest of the country,
also had a Black Label anniversary
the world in terms of how we
I'll try that one out too.
Innovation, how we go after
I'll see if they have it at my local cigar shop.
Attracting and utilizing innovative technologies to address a lot of the issues within this environment. And so the crypto industry is something that we have to take advantage of here in the state of Alabama. We too far we're at the bottom of every single list, whether it's education, whether it's life expectancies, whether it's health outcomes, whether it's employment opportunities. We too far, we far too often find ourselves at the bottom of the list. And so I am very much so excited about the possibilities, about the future of how we can leverage different aspects of blockchain technologies to further benefit this district, this state, in this country. And look, you can put me in the column of people that thinks that policies are not well informed unless they are informed by the people that do the thing day to day. And so, being in Congress, we have to be able to have positive relationships and great productive working relationships with the people that are not only in this group, but people that work in the industry every single day. If you're not tapping into and investing into the types of conversations that you have to have and the input that you need from the industry, we cannot say that we're doing everything that we can to tap the full potential of this industry. And so we're going to be on board here in Alabama. I know when you think Alabama, you don't think tech, but I'm in this race to change that. We are going to do everything that we can to be supportive of the
What do you think of Alabama? You do not think about tech.
Framework that makes
I guess I don't.
that does not, brothers and sisters. That does not handcuff the industry, that does not restrict the industry, and certainly does not suppress the innovative aspects and possibilities of the industry. So I'm happy to be in this race. I'm happy to have enjoyed crypto support to this point in the race. I'm running against a candidate who has not been as proactive in support of the industry as we were going all the way back to from pretty much the moment we got into this race. And so look, we're happy to be here. Love that we have a Crypto for Harris organization to be a part of. And so we're really looking forward to working with you guys, really looking forward to further support from you guys, and really just happy to be here. So thank you so much.
Well, let me just say, anybody who says that Alabama doesn't mean tech has clearly never been to Huntsville. So I'll just leave that and say, George, Sarah, Shamari, thank you so much for coming. We so appreciate you. I'm really excited now to introduce Anthony Scaramucci, a well-known financier and former White House communications director. Through his investment firm Skybridge Capital, he's been a vocal advocate.
Oh my God!
He launched the Skybridge.
They got Scaramucci,
and his involvement in crypto has made him a key player in bridging traditional finance. And
a lot of opportunities opened up to that guy once he went anti-Trump. There might be something to just make a lot of money by just yelling at Trump and saying he's a horrible person. make some good money from it. And of course, he doesn't have his mic working. Oh my God, this is not my fault. This is his fault right now. He's just talking. Yeah, that's him right now. She better interrupt him. Interrupt him.
Anthony, you're on mute. I'm so sorry. 3 years after COVID, and it happens to the best of us.
Damn,
I'm going to start over, and I'll be very brief, Amanda. Thank you. I just want to give a quick shout out to Ro Khanna, who set up 2 big meetings with the White House.
You see that little banner on the bottom?
That
That little banner is asking for you guys' money.
My Senator Schumer, and my Senator Gillibrand, who are championing this issue. And lastly, and very importantly, and I know I speak for a lot of my friends and colleagues in this field and in our industry, we want to make cryptocurrency regulation positive and bipartisan. I don't think we're looking to get into any fights with anybody on the other side. I think that's very important in our age of great polarity. And so I hope you'll see from us at Skybridge and our friends and colleagues in the industry that sort of idea, that we keep this less tribal. We make it about the great things that can happen for the industry if we can get a bipartisan commitment to crypto regulation. Thank you very much, Amanda, for letting me speak.
Lisa, beat them all. That was it.
Thank you so much. I'm now incredibly honored to introduce.
Why are they not talking for like a good 5-10 minutes? Like they talk more on CNBC than they do on here. You know what I mean? Uh-oh.
That today's conversation marks the beginning of a reset for the Harris campaign, and more broadly, a reset.
They keep on talking about this reset. Now, this is a pre-recorded video, so I don't really care too much about this right now. But after it's done, I'll there. But they're not really letting people, talk too much, right? We'll see. No, bipartisan is political. I don't know. For me, it's always kind of weird because I think of you as the way I think of the system is you're either far left or far right, or you're an establishmentarian, which means you kind of just go with whatever the corporations kind of say. And I don't like creatures of the establishment too much. Like I said before, I like Bernie more than Kamala Harris, I like Bernie more than Obama, I like Bernie more than Joe Biden. I like Trump more than Jeb Bush, although Jeb Bush is kind of fine, I guess. He's just establishmentarian. Like Trump more than McCain, and I like Trump more than what's that guy's the big guy's name from Jersey? Chris Christie, you know what I mean? I usually vibe more with the people that are kind of a little bit more don't want to say honest because not many of them are honest, but what do you call it? There's a different vibe to them. They at least try to give out some policies that really affect people, even if the burden is put on the state. Less taxes that the state kind of pays for that. Those types of things I kind of like. Or let's pay teachers more. I get that type of stuff, right? There's some guy talking named Clay Miller, Crypto for Harris organizer. I don't know really much about him, but I don't really want to listen to him. Well, we'll see what happens next. But yeah, Bitcoin right now, look at that. A whole bunch of nothing here. This is one of my favorite days to stream when Bitcoin is doing absolutely nothing. Was Mooch's Twitter hacked? I don't know who Mooch Twitter is. I have no idea who Mooch is. $81 million only buys so much, but mooching cryptocracy? I don't know. But what do you call? It's definitely something interesting right now. Oh, here we go. We got some people over here. Let's see.
You've been instrumental in introducing and passing bills related and responsible for harnessing blockchain technology that protects consumers. Can you let us know
what's they needed so much more organization behind this?
Care about this issue.
Well, first of all, we heard Governor Polis talk about the blockchain caucus. Yes, Governor, it still exists, and I'm proud to be a co-chair. And we have 2 champions with Reps Goldman and Horsford on here. Look, I think the key to understand is we're really excited about Kamala's candidacy. She's from the Bay Area. She's familiar with technology. She was the Attorney General and Senator from California. And we're really encouraging her to pick 3 meaningful reforms. Repeal or reform the SEC's SOB 121, which has made cryptocurrency.
Speaking of the politicians of the past, whenever we talk about a Trump or Bernie or anybody in that populist kind of wing of their party, it's very hard for them to remain populist because they get so much pressure from everybody. Remember, Bernie Sanders, they're about to kick that motherfucker out the party. They had the DNC working actively against him. How democratic was that? Trump, they did the Trump-Russia collusion type thing. And then on top of that, I mean, the media just hounded him every day, so he couldn't do anything really without like fearing that something bad was going to happen. So it was definitely interesting times. You don't want to be on the outside. It's much more difficult. But if you're on the inside, you're not really changing your constituents' lives for the better for the most part.
You've been new, but you've stepped up and become a leader very quickly on this important policy issue. What's your crypto story, and why is it important to you and your constituents?
Well, thanks, Clay. Thanks for having me, and it's great to be here with Congressman Soto and Horsford. So as you alluded
the fuck
to,
is that noise?
No offense to Adam Schiff, but my district in Lower Manhattan is the crypto capital of the country and really of the world, and we want to make sure we keep it that way. I frankly was not particularly familiar with crypto and digital currency, blockchain technology, et cetera, when I got into Congress. And then I quickly learned that my district is the capital. And so I've jumped right in to try to start to understand, get smarter on the issue. And I've relied on my background as a prosecutor, which I happily share with Vice President Harris. And I I was part of the Securities and Commodities Task Force in the Southern District of New York.
There's someone off camera typing.
And so I have
Water bong.
a good
Wouldn't that be great?
understanding of what securities regulations require, what commodities regulations require, what the advantages, disadvantages are. And what is very clear in talking to a number of my constituents is that we need to have very clear regulations that protect the consumer, but that also foster innovation. The notion of
You're not going
somehow
to get that right
killing
now because the rest of the
crypto,
world has already given
which
you
is
very
the equivalent
lax regulations.
of killing the internet in the late 1990s. It makes no sense. And what we should instead do is harness it, build it, make sure that we're protecting the downside, we're protecting consumers from bad actors, as we want to do in every industry, but continue to be the lead innovator, the lead growth industry, and the lead place where innovation can thrive. And I've heard from too many people in my district who have been involved in this industry who are staying on the sidelines because they don't know what the regulations are. They don't know what the SEC will do, and they just want to stay out. And that is incredibly counterproductive to our economy and to our innovation.
Why is it
So
only taking
I'm
you
eager
now to figure that out,
work
though?
with the Harris administration, using that background understanding that she and I both have for how regulation can both work to protect consumers, but also encourage innovation. And I'm excited for the opportunities, especially for blockchain, Web 3.0. There are so many
He calls it
possibilities
3.0. I guess that's what people call it, I guess. I don't know.
to grow through that technology. People think of crypto, they think of cryptocurrency, but the opportunities with blockchain and with Web 3.0 and the transparency. And
I never heard
really
anybody call it Web
exciting.
3.0
So,
before.
I'm
I'm sure
eager
it's actually called that,
continue
like,
to push for
technically,
common sense
but I just never heard anybody
regulation
call it that.
that makes everyone comfortable and secure in knowing what the rules are.
Great. Thank you so much, Representative Goldman. And now closing us out from Nevada is Congressman Stephen Horsford. Congressman, you also serve on the Financial Services Committee, and you lead one of the most important voting blocs in our party, the Congressional Black Caucus. Why do you think Democrats should lean in on crypto, and why is it an important issue in other swing states?
Thank you, Clay, for having me on. I am Congressman Stephen Horsford, representing Nevada's 4th Congressional District in Las Vegas. Represent one of the 30 most competitive districts in the country as a frontline member in a battleground state. And I am really excited to be here with Representative Soto and Representative Goldman and all of our champions for crypto. You know, look, we've got 55 million Americans who own crypto today. And we understand that this is not only an important asset that is one of the fastest growing financial assets, digital assets, but it's also an opportunity to generate wealth. So as both a member from Nevada's 4th Congressional District and chair of the Congressional Black Caucus focused on wealth building, we recognize the importance of advancing this innovation,
Hey, Lux guy.
creating an opportunity that is democratized and equitable for everyone to participate in. I'm proud to be a member of the Financial Services Committee that voted for the legislation around FIT 21 and other reforms to continue to provide this opportunity for investment. All of our communities, and I look forward to continuing to work with the industry. And tonight, I really want to commend Kamala Harris because this is an opportunity to
Hey, Loxan,
reset
no, I am not a Democrat.
the agenda going forward and how we can work collaboratively together when Democrats do take the majority back in the House, when Hakeem Jeffries is the Speaker, and with Kamala Harris as our 47th President of the United States. So I want you to know that we are your partners in this work, and we look forward to working with you. Our door is open, and you all are the experts. You have an expertise on what it is we should and shouldn't be doing in this space, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future. So thank you for including me in this session tonight.
Thank you. And thanks to all three of you for being here today and fighting the hard fight in Congress. We really appreciate it. And we hope that we can get you some more support in this upcoming election. I'd now like to reintroduce and bring back up my co-organizers to help close us out for the evening.
Okay. We listened to Mark Cuban for like all of a minute, and they said he was the keynote speaker for this event. Again, I feel bamboozled. I feel hoodwinked. I don't like that. And they said there was going to be a surprise person along with Mark Cuban. I'm guessing that was Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is not a celebrity that is going to draw people in there. So, long story short, I'm not going to listen to these three people at the end of it talk, but long story short, was not the best presentation they could have given out. Not the best presentation. Now, they did make a Twitter page for this, Crypto Advocates for Harris 2024. Together we can win this. Crypto for Harris, you know, right? A grassroots network of advocates organizing, fundraising. Yeah. It was not a good experience. More surprise guest, welcome. You know what? I bet that all that typing and shit we were hearing in the background was all people used to do in the Twitter and stuff. Surprise guest, it's Senator Schumer. You know, I don't know. Maybe they don't know what a keynote speaker is. You know what I mean? He only talked for about a minute, then he tossed, like, and he didn't even really address us. He really was just reading the paper, right? And the same thing with Chuck Schumer. All he did was read the paper. That's all. Look at that. They're both looking down. Like, all they did was look at the paper. So, I think what they literally have to do is they're really, really, really gonna have to get her out there talking and explaining about why she supports this. What she does she support this? Does she not? She's gonna excuse me. She's gonna have to verbally talk about this type of stuff, or it's just not gonna work out for her at all. That thing did nothing for Bitcoin. Kamala didn't come out and do nothing. She didn't bother to talk with anybody. Nothing. And how could you have a Crypto for Harris town hall without Kamala Harris? It made no sense whatsoever. It was like an awkward HR Zoom meeting, and they got to do better. If they're going to try to court crypto voters, they're going to have to do a lot better. The crypto voters who are voting for Kamala Harris now are probably those people who really just don't like Trump's personality. They probably are acceptable of his some of his policies, but they really just don't like Trump, and they're not going to vote for him. So they're going to vote for Kamala or not at all. Kamala has to make sure they at least vote for her instead of like sitting at home. That way she can kind of, you know, beat Trump in some of those battleground states like Pennsylvania. We talked about Minnesota, Wisconsin, you know, and all that type of stuff. Michigan. It's going to be rough, but I don't think she did herself any big favors here today. They tried to gaslight a little bit, talking about how, you know, Kamala Harris is doing a reset. Everything's going to be good with her. I'm like, she could start calling out Gary Gensler today. Say, hey, Biden, my man, get that motherfucker out of here. And if you fire him and say I helped you fire him, I'm gonna get some votes for it. So yeah, do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, there are some practical things she could do. I know it may be frowned upon, but I mean, who's really gonna frown on firing Gary Gensler? Come on. If democracy is at stake, you can fire Gary Gensler to save democracy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's so much they could do, and I don't know. The best part was the dog barking. What do you call? I was hoping that the dog barking may make Shiba Inu go because he was pumping up Sheeb and not Shiba. Sheeb. It might pump up Dogecoin or something. It didn't do anything for either of those tokens, so it really shows how nobody was paying attention to that call. I don't know how many people were watching it, but it was not a lot, right? It was not a lot. So we'll see how it goes, right? Clearly, choke point still in full swing. Yeah, I mean, they only have a few more weeks, I would say, until they really have to really formulate a plan for the crypto voter. And I say that because I don't know about a lot of you guys, but people are getting their mail-in ballots right now. They can start voting next month. You know what I mean? It's like, I keep on saying, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you people can start voting here very soon. And people are going to make their decisions very fast. A lot of you guys already know who you're voting for, most likely. But for those few people that don't know, they're probably going to figure it out pretty soon. Will be good no matter who is president. California DMV tokenizes on Avalanche. BlackRock tokenized exchange in Texas. That'd be cool to have some tokenized exchanges. That'd be really fun, especially with Texas kind of coming along with that new stock exchange. But who am I talking? I'm moving next year, so I don't know. And I'm looking to move to Panama City, like here. Right. I'm trying to move out here to Panama. I got to fly out there, I think this December or this January, one of the two. And then I have to figure out where exactly I want to live. So I'm going to be going on a bunch of little tours and figuring out the best places. For whatever reason, it's just not loading properly. Maybe because I'm zoomed in 250%. There we go. But I may live in the city over here with Loki. Maybe Loki will be a condo dog. I don't really want him to be, so I think that's pretty much ruled out in my opinion. There are some houses over here that I was looking at. These ones are pretty nice, but again, not a really big yard. And they're kind of really close together. So I'm thinking maybe over here a little bit more on the beach territory where they have all the golf courses, so I can golf every day if I wanted to, and I can go stream with you guys if I wanted to, So as long as I have good Wi-Fi, I'm fine with it. And they even got random restaurants out here. I don't even know what this restaurant is. Is it actually? And it's probably not a real restaurant. Oh yeah, it's in the forest. Okay, so yeah, there's no photos of it, but it's there, so that's interesting. But yeah, I still got to figure that out. But once I'm in Panama, right here, right now I'm up in Seattle. I can still go to Vegas for conventions. I can still go over here to Texas. I'm actually closer to Texas than I was in Washington. Then I can also go to Nashville, Bitcoin Nashville, and I'm there. Actually, next year both events are going to be in the South. So Las Vegas, still close, but not as close as Seattle. And then over here in Austin, Texas, And then I can go to New York, Philadelphia, visit my friends over there. I can go to the Mexico. Mexico has an expo, has a couple actually. There's one happening in not Colombia next year, Bogota, not Venezuela. I'm not going to Venezuela. Then there's also a couple that happen in Argentina, Buenos Aires, way down here, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'll be able to travel a lot more. And then of course I have to find a way to go from Panama to Singapore down here, then Panama to South Korea, which is over here. So that'll all be lots of fun. But coming up this week, I'll be flying from SeaTac Airport, which is right here. And I'll be flying all the way over here to the Philadelphia Airport, which is over here. Then I'll be going all the way over here to my friend's house, somewhere like in Westchester. It's not in the downtown area. There's some really nice houses over here, but see how they all have space? This is what I love about Philadelphia. They all have space. And I don't know why they all have space. Maybe there's more ritzy areas. I don't know much about the area itself. But I enjoy having a good time. And you see the city, and you see how it goes straight to farmland. there's farms and stuff right here, but they're like mini farms. Out in Washington, we have like not small farms, they're all just like, very large farms. But even if you go out, you go outside, there's some farms and stuff like that, little lands. They don't even try to farm. They just kind of gave up on farming out here, and it just turned into grass, which is fine by me. You still got a few farms over here. But even out by where I live, out by the mountains and stuff, you got some farms going on, some little things. That's a camping ground, I think. Yeah, it's the lake. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun. Is it cheaper than the States or the same? It really depends on what I want to do, because I could pretty much spend the exact same amount of money if I wanted to. But since the house I'm living in right now is still there, and I don't really want anybody living here, I think I'm going to pay off my grandparents' house. This house, it's pretty much like it gets paid off by the end of next year, so pay it off, and then I think I'm going to use this as kind of an escape house. I'm going to like live there like 7 months out of the year, come back here for the rest, or whatnot, because my goal is to have Loki be trained as a have him trained as a service dog almost, to get that like certification. I don't know how long it's going to take, or if it's even possible, but I'll see. And then I want to cruise with him, so I don't want to take him on a plane, because I'm just kind of afraid of it, and I don't know why, but I'm afraid of having him on a plane. So I'd rather just cruise from Seattle to Panama than cruise back up. So like 2 weeks down, 2 weeks up, and then we're just going to be cruising together. And I think he'll have a fun time with that. And I will have a fun time, and I won't be panicking about him underneath the plane. So we'll see. But if I were to go over here to Panama and go through like some of the prices and stuff, Panama City Realty, Panama Home Realty, here's one. This is more of an expensive one. But if I go here for properties for rent, and I go to advanced filters, and I say exterior, no. Oh, this one doesn't have the house versus the other one. They changed it up. Do they have, most of these are going to be condos then. Type for rent, yes. Rooms. Property. Oh, here it is. House. All right. So this the cheapest house I think I see on here is $3,000. Right. That's like about a 4,000 square foot house. I'm not going to need anything like that. The next one is a $3,500 house. I'm not renting anything that expensive, so I have to go to another website. Like I said, that I've been to that website before. It's kind of expensive. Panama Equity. This could be something. It's mostly, is the area safe? And on top of that, does it have good Wi-Fi? It's like really those two things. And most areas here are safe. And so if I go over here to location, no, type, home, status for rent, then go to, for rent, as at home for search. Give it a second to cook, And you have a house over here. Remember I told you about like the more, this is like the downtown area over here. But you have these little places where you're like on the beach, you kind of just relax and chill. So go right here. It's more about the land than anything else though. Right? So it's a 1,700 square foot house. 3-bedroom single family home for rent in quiet gated community of San Carlos. It only costs about $1,000. This costs $1,000 a month to rent. Comes furnished, right? Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I can add anything I need to. It's not that important. But basically, $1,000 for that. Low yard. Loki can hop that fence, which is kind of a concern. But you get the point, right? So back over here very fast. This one's $1,200. This one's a little bit more. It looks like in the mountains or something. I can't even tell. So yeah, this is definitely a mountain house. This one's not furnished, it looks like. Oh, it is furnished, yeah. And I can be up here, relaxing. Not really the vibe I'm looking for to be in the mountains over here. But again, I'm going to have to go house shopping. Because from what everybody that I've talked to over there, and I have a couple friends that live down there, they all say that I'm not supposed to use any of these websites. I'm literally supposed to just start driving around and then find a house that has a for rent sign and it has a price on it, and just contact them and negotiate it down by like $200, and then just say, hey, I'll stay here for a year, and then boom, you're good to go. So apparently you're not supposed to use these websites, so I've been using them kind of as a reference point here, because I don't want to go gung-ho with all this type of stuff. Like with the condos, excuse me. See, talking is what makes me go. I'm not smoking cigars, not doing anything else, just freaking talking. If I go over here, like property, let's go for a condo, right? And let's have there be 3 rooms in that condo, right? Three bedrooms for rent. Let's go over here. Let's go to search, okay? Let's go to the cheapest one I can find here. Right? $1,500 gets me a 1,600 square foot condo, which is great, and it comes furnished, right? I can get some really good deals here. I can get some really good deals. I don't think I need to do that. I think I just want to get a regular house. It'll be a nicer house. It won't be a luxurious house, but it'll be a nice house. And it doesn't have to be large, because again, it's just gonna be for me and Loki, and a couple extra rooms, like maybe a 3-bedroom house. And I can have a little bit of a studio, because I want to buy a desk and stuff, and then bring my computers and stuff. But yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be hoping for there. I wish there was a better website for me to show you all the real estate and stuff. But again, I just don't. Panama City, Bogota. Like here, right? You can see all these. There's all these little areas over here that you can move to. I think I might stay over downtown. Like see how there's like these little areas off the downtown over here, like maybe like 20-30 minutes away. I think that's probably what I would do. And if I really want to go in the city, I'll pay for like the $5-10 Uber, because they're really, really cheap to get in. Like the Ubers down in South America, if you guys haven't been, they're really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. Hey, have a good night, Edward. 1K a month for rent. Darn, brother, good for you. 1K in Cali. You live in a corner of a desert. Hey, dude, just be homeless and keep the money for yourself. I heard California trying to clean up the homeless process right now, though. Under the bridge. Oh, mine. But yeah, so like there's tons of stuff in here if if you wanted to save money and things like that. But for me, like Panama City, maybe this one. I get confused because sometimes they say, sometimes it says Panama City, but then it's like Panama City, Florida or something. All listing areas, property types. Like rural Panama rental property, like timber properties. I don't think they have rentals here. Yeah, they don't have rentals. But you could get whatever you want. Like coastal real estate's what I'd probably be looking for. Oh, these are like real large. This is like property. Yeah, three bedroom apartment for sale. Jeez, some of these are really nice. 4,000 square foot. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't need a luxury house. This is for the luxury people. I'm not looking for luxury. Because I'm renting, I'm not buying it there. But you guys get the overall gist of what I'm talking about here. But anyway, I'm going to turn it off for the night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go upstairs and make myself some dinner and get Loki to use the bathroom here. Bitcoin still remains bearish at this point in time. We'll see if it finds a way to bounce back up. Overall, we're basically waiting for the daily chart to give us some semblance of, hey, we're looking pretty good. If you guys have a long right now, I thought I actually got stopped out this morning, but then I remembered my support was actually right down here at 57.5, actually a little bit lower than this. But if you guys, that just means I'm down a lot of money without having to watch it go back up. We have an opportunity to break out, but it's not going to be because of technical analysis, because technical analysis would say bearish. It'll only go up basically if we have some whales come in here and start to buy up some of these assets. And at this point in time, it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So be very, very careful over the next 24 hours, okay? And the beach looks better than Miami. Panama City, as far as it's much better than Miami. A lot better, a lot more free. It's a lot more just chill. Everybody has a different vibe. And on top of that, the rooftop scene is miles better than Miami, which already has a pretty good rooftop scene. I'll tell you guys more about Panama next time. I need to really go on a trip down there, and maybe I'll aim for January. January is when the dry season starts, so it might be worth going over there, hiring a driver basically for like $100 a day, and he'll just drive me wherever I want to go for the whole day. So I've already looked into it quite a bit, so we'll see how that works out. I was hoping to be able to go to Thailand honestly next year, But I just don't think it's really worth it for me right now to go over there when I know I'm going to be coming back so much. I think when I turn like 35, like 5 years from now, I think I'm just going to move over to Thailand, just stay there, and then come over here for conferences and stuff when I want to, but ultimately stay in Thailand for quite a bit of time. So we'll see. I have a lot of friends that have moved out there. I just had 3 friends move out there actually about a couple months ago. So a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully